Vaccine will be available within the next 18 months.
I have business here for about 25 years.
We have an agenda, obviously.
Hello, and welcome to Stony Brook News. I'm Arielle Noren. The current global crisis has forced Stony Brook University to an online format, effectively ending our team's access to our studio. We still understand the dire need for the most accurate and up-to-date information, so we have decided to bring you the news from our own homes. We will continue our dedication to journalistic standards and strive, above all, to keep our audience well informed. With that, we welcome you to the first virtual edition of Stony Brook News. Governor Cuomo's Thursday press briefing revealed that 799 New Yorkers were lost to the COVID-19 on Wednesday alone. Over 7,000 lives have been lost so far. New York City has largely been shut down for 18 days now. Data shows, however, that the number of ICU admissions and intubations are decreasing. Cuomo is once again urging the public to continue social distancing. Blood drives will be held for anyone who has recovered from the virus. Cuomo also mentioned that 600,000 of 800,000 unemployment applications have been processed, and that the system will be shut down for 2 hours this evening to handle remaining applications. Americans can expect some financial assistance as early as next week, when stimulus payments will begin to be dispersed. The recently passed $2.2 trillion package, which was meant to provide relief in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, left out a key demographic. Donovan Alexis has more.
One of the most highly anticipated additions to the stimulus package signed into law recently were the $1,200 checks promised to every American. However, this provision leaves out a big chunk of the United States population, particularly many college students between the ages of 17 to 24 who are claimed as a dependent by their parents.
It's annoying because, seeing the internet go wild, oh, we just got our tax returns, we're about to get this $1,200 check. I was already thinking of what I was going to do with it. So it's annoying knowing that I'm not going to be getting that money.
The reason behind leaving out dependent college students comes down to the idea that they are reliant on their parents to provide food and housing. But for many in this bracket, that isn't necessarily the case.
I don't really think that it's fair that I don't get a check just because I'm filed as a dependent and I'm in college, because that doesn't mean I'm not living. That doesn't mean I'm mooching off my parents.
The only incentive provided in the bill for students is the temporary relief for federal student loans. This suspends payment until September 30th, but those who borrow through private lenders may not have the same luxury.
While the stimulus package doesn't offer much as far as college students are concerned, economists agree that they probably would have made the best candidates. You combine students' financial struggles with their high likelihood of spending, they probably would have made the best candidates. Lawmakers might have missed the mark there. Reporting remotely for Stony Brook News, I'm Donovan Alexis.
In the wake of the pandemic, Stony Brook University's counseling and psychological services have been moved to a virtual platform. Alex Backerton reports.
Stony Brook students are facing many challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic, and struggles with stress and mental health are likely to be among them. Laura Hunter, a licensed clinical social worker for the university's counseling and psychological services, says that this is to be expected at times like these.
Some things are going to be normal right now, and to understand that some of the things that people are feeling are going to be, a normal outcome of what we're all experiencing.
After the university sent out this email informing students they had to move out, Stony Brook CAPS immediately began to transition to an online format. The transition took about a week to set up, but CAPS services are now available for all students via phone calls or Zoom video conferences.
So other than really bulking up the information that we're providing through our website externally, I think in terms of our therapy plans and our treatment, pretty much has stayed the same.
The CDC has also created a webpage about the potential stresses caused by the pandemic, and Hunter suggests students who are feeling stressed or anxious watch out for specific signs that indicate a need to reach out to CAPS.
some things that people could be looking out for is if they find that, things that used to help them cope are no longer working, that if they're having difficulty sleeping, having a lot of perseverating thoughts that don't go away, they feel like they maybe want to harm themselves in some way, aren't functioning, panic attacks, things like that kind of aren't going away, that are repetitive.
Regular services are available during CAPS normal hours, and the CAPS hotline is still available for students in need to call 24/7.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders dropped out of the 2020 Democratic race for president on Wednesday. His decision came after a series of losses from his Democratic rival, former President Joe Biden, Vice President. Sanders gained momentum early in his campaign, but noted that it would be nearly impossible to win the nomination now that Biden has 300 delegates supporting him. Biden has a clear path to win the Democratic nomination, making the upcoming general election between Biden and President Donald Trump. Sanders has not publicly endorsed Biden. Clinton's sex scandal whistleblower Linda Tripp died on Wednesday after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The former White House employee played a key role in the impeachment of Bill Clinton, secretly recording conversations with Monica Lewinsky that laid the foundation for the Clintons' impeachment. Tripp was 70 years old. Recovering addicts typically meet in anonymous support groups, but closures all across the country have made this difficult, especially during this time. Jawad Hussein reports.
The doors are closed and no one can enter. Churches across the country have been forced to not stay open due to the coronavirus pandemic. And churchgoers aren't the only ones being affected. Churches provide different services, one of which is Alcoholics Anonymous or AA meetings weekly. The Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Patchogue used to hold their meetings every Tuesdays, but now AA meetings are having to be done remotely.
Going to meetings is one of the bedrocks for many people in recovery, and having that social connection.
Isolation and addiction just don't go together. That's why a lot of these meetings that are so important to people going through recovery are going online now. But don't worry if you don't have internet. You can still give them a call with your phone.
It's a strain. People are stressed out and they're stuck in the house and they're not used to that.
Spoke to a current AA member to get his thoughts on the impact coronavirus is having. And in return, he requested we don't show his face and do not provide his last name.
The program of AA is more soul-based and more spiritual, so I think it needs that face-to-face connection. I feel bad. There's people that stay sober by going to meetings, and that's their life. Gotta go to a meeting. And then all of a sudden, a pandemic comes along, and there's no meetings to go to, and those people are now struggling.
The hope remains that in-person meetings will resume in the near future. For Stony Brook News, this is Jawad Hussein.
Although many sports have been put on hold, some teams are working together to address problems in their communities. Our own Caitlin McDuffie, who plays on the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team, participated in the last shift. She's here with us today to tell us a bit more. Caitlin?
Hi, Arielle.
So what is the last shift?
So the last shift is a virtual 5K, and my whole Stony Brook women's lacrosse team participated in it for the Headstrong Foundation.
How did this help you and your teammates deal with the abrupt end to your season?
So we obviously weren't ready to end our season, and especially as a senior, this was extremely difficult news to take in. So just being able to end the season in a positive way was a really great way for our team to come together and do that.
What does your team do to bond during these times apart?
Yeah, it's actually funny. This morning, we all had a Zoom practice or a Zoom meeting. So it's just a great way to stay in contact with everyone. And even though we're apart, we're definitely checking up on each other and just making sure everyone's okay during this crazy time.
That's nice to hear. Good for you and your teammates. Thanks for joining us today, Caitlin.
Thanks, Arielle.
As New York State hospitals deal with the coronavirus, the need for medical supplies has soared. Students from schools around New York are making are doing their part by making homemade masks. Pedro Rodriguez has the story.
The sound of sewing machines are taking over homes across New York. During the coronavirus pandemic, people are seeking ways to help the medical community who are in the front lines every day. Students are using their talent to bring new equipment for the healthcare workers. FIT student Stephen Panicillo uses his fashion skills to sew masks for different hospitals across the state.
So my roommate and I decided that it was a good idea to get involved because in order for a movement to be effective, individuals as well as corporations need to be doing all that they can to help out.
Panicillo and some of his classmates are making 20 to 40 masks a week while going to school and donating them to Masks for Medicine.
And we had a great deal of engagement. And we have been sending supplies like fabric, elastic, and thread to people in New Jersey, people all over New York City, people in Texas even are getting involved. So our little movement has been inspiring our other classmates as well to get involved, which is honestly all we could ask for.
Masks for Medicine is a group of New York City doctors who are looking for everyone's help in support of doctors and nurses. According to their Instagram page, Masks for Medicine has donated more than 10,000 masks, 4,000 gloves, and over 300 coveralls to healthcare workers across New York City.
Anyone with a sewing machine can help. And other materials you need? A pair of scissors, a cotton shirt, and any type of elastic band. For Stony Brook News, I'm Pedro Rodriguez.
The COVID-19 pandemic has pushed many workforces and schools to an online setting. Zoom has been the software of choice for many institutions to meet virtually, but not a lot of people know about the feature that can make meetings more fun. Jacob Alvier has the story.
This is how to get the most out of the most creative and fun feature that Zoom has to offer, and that's the virtual background feature. What you're going to want to do is open up Zoom and then click a new meeting. From there, it'll give you the option to enable audio and video. Make sure you enable both of them. From there, you're going to click on that arrow right next to the camcorder that says Start or Stop Video. That will bring up an option that says Choose Virtual Background. From there, it'll take you to the settings. The reason this feature comes in handy is just in case if you want some privacy, or if you choose not to make your bed that day. These are the virtual pictures that I have as choices. Took the one that you're about to see from the internet. All I did was search up Hawaii, where it gave me the option to have a beautiful sunset as my background. You can also choose from various photos from my gallery. This is a photo I took at a nightclub. If you want to add a photo that you've taken from the internet or have taken yourself, all you have to do is click the add button where it'll display all the photos that you can choose from. This is when I choose a photo of me and my family. Well, I'm not in the photo, but now I can be with this feature. The cool thing about this feature is you can also add video as a background. It's as simple as adding a photo as well. All you have to do is click the add button, click a video, and choose it, and there you are, living in the moment. The video is of me opening presents for my 20th birthday. But just remember, you always have the option of choosing nothing. Just your plain background, simple as that, and it's as easy as clicking a button.
Although Stony Brook University students may be upset about missing Brookfest, Global Citizen and the World Health Organization will have another option for music fans. The organizations have teamed up with Lady Gaga for a televised concert special featuring Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, Lizzo, and many other performers. Late-night show hosts Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert are slated to host the event. The concert is designed to support frontline healthcare workers and the World Health Organization. Viewers will be able to tune in on TV and across social media platforms on April 18th. That's all we have for this week's edition of Stony Brook News. Wishing you and your family a happy Passover and happy Easter. Stay safe and stay healthy. Sequels.